New faces and new places here at Leidos Field in Aberdeen, Maryland at Ripken Stadium. Hello everyone and pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobeck here with you on Big Train TV as the CRCBL All-Stars take on the Team Israel, and Darius Foster leads things off to start things quickly 0-2 on them. We're underway. Ben, great to be here tonight at a phenomenal stadium. Foster leading things off tonight quickly 0-2 against starting pitcher Alon Leichman.
Yeah, beautiful view for baseball here, just as it was last night at Povich Field in the friendship exhibition between the Big Train and Team Israel, and we're here with the All-Stars tonight.
Leichman's 0-2, swing and a miss there, and Foster is retired, and that'll bring up Silver Spring-Takoma lone, I guess, well, not really, but one of two All-Stars that are in the starting lineup today, and that'll be Stephen Rice. Rice, donning number 43, takes the plate here against Alon Leichman, the right-hander.
They'll put on the heavy shift against the righty.
Taking outside ball one.
Three infielders to the left of the second base bag. Saw this a little bit for a couple of lefties in the Big Train batting order last night, but on here for the righty out of Salisbury University.
Quickly 1-1 here on Rice.
And folks, if you weren't a fan of the MLB uniforms at the All-Star game this year, then you're going to love this game. All the batters and pitchers.
As Rice rips one into right field, on comes the right fielder Rickles. He will catch it, and that is out number 2. So Rice gave that one a ride, but right into the mitt of Rickles.
And as I was saying, all the players for the CRCBL Combined All-Stars wearing their uniforms from their teams, as you'll see Kemp in the Big Train's black, Rice in Silver Spring-Takoma's white get up there, and of course Israel in this wonderful blue tops, white bottoms.
Uni-watch special here tonight as Kemp Alderman digs in here against Leichman. Quickly 2 outs on him. First pitch to him, breaking ball in there for strike number 1. Alon Leichman, the starting pitcher tonight. Don't know how many innings he'll go. He's got that 3 over the top as Alderman ropes one to short. Nice diving stop by Burcham. He will fire to first in time for out number 3. A nice sliding effort there by Burcham at short. And it's a 1-2-3 opening inning for the CRCBL All-Stars. Israel coming up when we come back. Ty Kelly leads things off here in the bottom half of the first, the Israel half of the first, and former Met, former Philadelphia Philly, recently in the Tacoma Rainiers organization, Seattle Mariners, a little bit before he was released. First pitch to Kelly from Matt Howitt, the starting pitcher, the lefty. who's had a very phenomenal season this year for the big train out of their pen. Really a eighth inning guy that they've used quite a bit. And his 1-0 to Ty Kelly is fouled off, and the count is tied at 1. We talked almost ad nauseum about his windup and delivery, how he sort of hides it until the last very second. They really can throw off guys, but not switch hitters probably, as Ty Kelly's batting switch turns around and bats on the left side. Excuse me, the right side, and it's quickly 1-2 here on him. Quick first inning for starting pitcher Alon Leichman, 1-2-3. A nice diving stop by the shortstop, Scott Burcham. So there's a pitch and taken outside, ball 2. Very nice vantage point we have here. I mean, of course, it's going to be in a minor league stadium here at Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium. Very nice crowd on hand as well. Kelly fouls that into the stands, and oh man, I don't know what that collided with. That was a loud bang. Just a foul ball there, and it's 2-2. Still. Got some boos and ahs from the nice crowd on hand tonight here at Leidos Field. Here's the pitch, 2-2, just up high. Howitt has got Danny Nearai, who's been his battery mate all season, behind home plate. Nearai named to the All-Star team after really hitting pretty well since he's gotten here from Notre Dame. Full count offering from Howitt is fouled off and into the stands, and they'll do it one more time. First pitch was at 6 o'clock, I believe it was, or around there. Ty Kelly putting up
6:08 by my book.
6:08, pretty good at bat, as that's tapped towards third and foul. Offshack will have to just charge that and put it into foul territory. And Ty Kelly fighting off some good pitches to lead the game off.
Showing off that major league eye, so to say. And Howitt, plenty of work for him so far, as you said, a really interesting delivery for the lefty.
Talked to Ty Kelly about his postseason hit as he faces the 3-2. Fouled off again and really just staying alive here against Matt Howitt. He said that in that inning, he said he was only going to come in if it was George Contos or another lefty out of the San Francisco bullpen, but they ended up having to pinch hit Eric Campbell because, Madison Bumgarner was pitching really well, and then, he came in, and as he fouls another one off, he came in facing off against Bumgarner, and he said he stuck the bat out, and good things happened, and just drove it into left field for a base hit just past the outreached glove of Brandon Crawford. This is like 4 fouls or 5 fouls in a row here. Again, payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4, he was ready to go to first base before it was even there, and Ty Kelly is aboard after a good turn at bat.
Yeah, I knew that one was a walk, pretty much off of Matt Howitt's hand, and Howitt probably just happy to have him out of the batter's box finally.
Yeah, so unlike last night where it was 4 consecutive major leaguers, it's Mitch Glasser standing in here, the second baseman. It's interesting seeing their own jerseys out there. Like you got a white jersey at second base and a black jersey at short and a gray jersey at third and at first.
It is just a great look. You can understand kind of the appreciation for what this game means, not just to Team Israel, of course, in their preparation for the Olympics, but for those players out there representing their different teams from across the CRCBL. Of course, one half of the league in action tonight. The other half of the All-Stars played last week up in Harrisburg in an early morning game against the Israel squad.
Pitch rolls outside there for ball 1.
Glasser had 2 home runs in that game.
Glasser bounces 1 towards second, could be 2, maybe not hit hard enough. They'll go to second for 1, and no time to get the runner at first base. So Kelly is out. Glasser reaches on the 4-6 fielder's choice, and up comes Ryan Lavarnway.
Yep.
Got his broken bat in our booth with him. Maybe they'll ask him for a signature after the game. We'll see what he's up to. Definitely not that crimson bat. He's donning a more tan-colored bat now. Yellow, even.
Probably still from the Cleveland organization.
Columbus Clipper, currently.
Lavarnway, as we said last night, one of the newest additions to this Israel squad, like you mentioned, playing up until the other night with Columbus. And looking to get his feet wet again with Team Israel after some great performances for this squad way back in the 2017 WBC.
2017 WBC Pool A MVP as he watches the first pitch outside from Matt Howitt. Howitt's going 1, and then they'll turn it over to the bullpen where they've got plenty of guys available tonight. No shortage of arms tonight out of the pen. Everybody's going 1 innings. It's outside, ball 2. I believe the second pitcher in this game is going to be Tommy Dunleavy, guy that has pitched quite a bit and also fielded. Yeah, Dunleavy slated for the second inning. 3-0 here at Lavarnway. Howitt checks on. Good pickoff move there. Almost had him, but instead he's back to first. Currently at the home of the Aberdeen Ironbirds. There's a couple of youth fields in the back.
The Ripken experience.
Yeah, I've watched my cousin Nick play there. Back when he was in his Little League. Way back when. Lavarnway smokes one into the gap. Back goes Doyle. Onto the warning track. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Lavarnway, that's going to go as an EF. There's your first EF in a long time. EFO. Score that as an EFO in your scorebook, as everybody thought that was gone, but
hefty gasp from a wonderful crowd here at Leidos Field, as you said. Pretty much the entire lower bowl, quote-unquote, packed.
Truly is a very nice crowd on hand. Yeah, lower bowl really packed, and left and right side, and up comes Nick Rickles, the right fielder. On deck, Ben Wanger, the first baseman. Valencia and Kinsler available off the bench tonight as that runs outside for ball 1. So swinging 3-0 on that pitch was Lavarnway, and he drove it into the gap in a nice play to cut that off, and not Brady Gump or anybody else. Well, we'll see Brady Gump later in the game, though. He's pretty good defensive in his own right. There's high ball 2. Certainly the most expansive field they've played on this season, the Big Train players. Of course, it is 310 down the lines, so not too different from Povich Field in that regard. Here's the 2-0. Fouled back. Good hefty cut there from Rickles. And there's the first strike from Howitt. Very beautiful evening for baseball here in Aberdeen, Maryland. About a stone's throw from my house, a very big stone's throw from my house in Hockessin, Delaware. Rickles bloops one in the air, shallow right. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And on with a single is Nick Rickles. So a very softly hit baseball up in the air, a little parachute. And Rice and Doyle and Cone all converge, and none of them could get to it.
Yeah, tough play there in shallow right field. Maybe you see a little of the communication issues early in this game you'd expect to see from a mixed field of players from different teams. Stephen Rice, the second baseman, and Doyle in right field. Not quite on the same page there, but no man's land in between.
Ben Wanger, the new hitter at the plate, donning number 23. Saw him last night as the extra hitter. He's playing first base tonight. His first pitch from Howard is up high, ball 1. Glasser on third. At first base is Nick Rickles. Howitt sets and delivers the pitch. Catches the inside portion of the plate, ball 2. Howitt, a guy out of William and Mary. Thought his teammate Matt Thomas maybe deserved a chance to get on this squad, but not featured this year. Rickles, comes inside. It's actually 3-0. Fans didn't enjoy that ball. So they start whooping it up out there in the stands for Matt Howitt, who maybe there's some nerves pitching against some of these guys, but he's looked all right through these first couple of batters, looking to get an out here. And there's ball 4, and the bases are now loaded for Scott Bertram, the shortstop. Wanger at first, Rickles at second, and of course Mitch Glasser at third, and up comes Scott Bertram, member of the Rockies organization, drafted by them in 2015, and he's been there ever since. Channing bases loaded out there in the stands. Up the middle, that's going to get through for base hit in the score as Glasser waving home and heading for the plate is Rickles. He's going to come in to score. It's a 2-run single for Scott Burcham. So the leadoff walk and everything else comes back to bite Matt Howitt, and it's 2-0 here. Israel, very good piece of hitting there.
Yep.
Wanger to second, Burcham on there at first base. 2 RBI on that play.
As you said, just straight up the middle there for Scott Burcham. Nice placement on it. No chance for Torres or Rice up the middle, and Burcham collects a couple of ribeyes.
So here's Rob Pollard, who hit a mammoth
ribeyes.
who hit a mammoth 2-run shot last night to give Israel the lead in the ninth, or the top half of the seventh, and Howitt comes up and in, and the fans once again don't like that. So Pollard will dig back in one more time. Good vantage point, maybe not so good connection here for us at the Ripken Stadium. Pollard, that low crouch stance. Here's the pitch from Howitt. Good pitch, called strike, and it's 1-1. Howitt this season, sub-2 ERA out of the bullpen for Sal Colangelo, and asked to start this game on the bump. We might talk to him after the game. We'll get to that in a couple of innings. It's a 9-inning game, 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Rob Pollard down at number 4. Burcham number 8. On deck, Zach Penprace. We saw him next door to us last night. No batting gloves for Penprace. Pollard sets up for this pitch. Hits it high in the air in the infield. Should be playable for Offcheck at third. He's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3, but not after Israel tacks on 2 early runs on the RBI single from Scott Burcham. They lead it by 2 by that score as we head to the top of the second here on Big Train TV. Grant Knipp in the extra hitter hole tonight will lead things off here against Alon Leichman in his second inning of work. He takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. Knipp, as soon as he announced his commitment to Campbell, all of a sudden he just started hitting. And even more than he was to begin the season. Last night, of course, home run as he hits one into the gap. That might split it and go all the way to the wall. Racing back for it is Lowengard. He's not going to get it. Grant Knipp just continues his torrid pace. He is on at second with a leadoff double.
2 doubles and the big fly last night for Grant Knipp in his matchups with Team Israel so far in the last game and a half, and just continues to pick up right where he left off last night.
So here's Mark Catula, listed as Matt Catula. Poor kid out there on the field. Well, he's probably around my age. Oh well. Tula facing off against Leichman with a runner in scoring position. First runner in scoring position for the CRCBL All-Stars today. Tula, a guy that's been really good for Alexandria this season as they try to stake claim to second place with Gaithersburg. And he hits one softly into left field. That's going to fall in for a base hit, and that'll move Grant Knipp to third. So back-to-back base hits, and the runners are on the corners here for Jack Cohn.
Yeah, nice soft piece of hitting there from the big cat. Mark Catula drops that one in, moves Knipp over 90 feet away. And Ryan Lavarnway coming out behind home plate to shift here on the lefty, Jack Cohn.
Stone Cold Jack Cohn, Jack Flown, many names this season. I don't think they're referring to him as that right now. Takes first pitch inside, ball one. Leichman pitched very well, very strong opening inning, setting down Foster, Rice, and Alderman, but all of a sudden, the middle of this order, he's finding his pitches pretty easy.
A lot of pop in the middle of this order with Kemp Alderman, who ended the first inning, as well as Grant Knipp and Mark Catula. There's upwards of close to 15 home runs in the CRCBL regular season so far between those three guys.
Lavarnway drops that ball, but it's still a strike. 1-1 to Cohn, taken outside, ball two. Or 1-1, excuse me. 2-1? Yeah.
2-1.
They had it wrong on the scoreboard for a second. Jack Cohn gets that nice overlay on the scoreboards. That skips in the dirt. Good job by Lavarnway to block it.
They have the headshots for Team Israel, not for the CRCBL All-Stars. It's still going to be pretty cool to see your name up there in the big lights.
Oh, absolutely. And once it gets dark here, I mean, it's going to be just very sight to behold. Very nice night at the ballpark. For now, it's 3-1 to Jack Cohn. Leichman delivers the pitch. Cohn hits one in the infield. Kelly coming over, and so is Bertram. And Bertram will take charge and make the play for out number one. Cohn is retired, and up comes Sacramento State Stinger, Sacramento State Hornet, Trevor Doyle. Doyle this season has been very quietly one of the best hitters on the big train, finding ways to find holes, driving runs in without the home run. And that's what's been really special about Trevor Doyle this season for this team. Dunleavy trotting in from the bullpen, so it looks like he's going to come into this game next, as we were told.
And Trevor Doyle with a couple RBIs last night. He smokes
There's
this
a
one
chance
to
here to left field. Going back to left fielder Penprace. He's not going to get there. It bounces up against the wall and over the fence. And it's a ground rule double for Trevor Doyle, and that'll get a run in. So an RBI double for Doyle, Catula to third, and CRCBL cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1.
Yeah, Trevor Doyle, of course, we know deep connections for him way back to Cimarron High School out in Las Vegas, and able to collect another RBI, back-to-back games now with a run batted in for the Sacramento State Stinger. Trevor Doyle collects the first ground roll double we've seen for any big train hitter this season. It comes here in the All-Star game.
Ben approved that one very much, put his hands up in approval.
Oh, it was just indicating.
Penprace could not track that ball down. First pitch now to Danny Neary, the catcher. Takes it inside, ball one. Neary out of Notre Dame. Part of two Notre Dame contingents on this roster, of course. That tonight, Neary, and then, of course, his buddy Brady Gump on the bench tonight. Gump will come in the later innings, middle innings. There's a good pitch from Leichman, and it's 1-1. Very beautiful woody backdrop here at Ripken Stadium. Very beautiful complex. Driven by it so many times in my life, and happy to finally get in here. Neary absolutely crushes one to left field, but Penprace is there for this time. That'll get two runners over. Throw comes into third, and safely there is Doyle. So it's a sacrifice fly that moves two runners up for Danny Neary, and this ball game is all tied up.
Yeah, how about that for an answer? Team Israel puts up two in the bottom and score two of their own here in the top of the second. Great answer there for them offensively, and a beautiful piece of hitting there from Neary to put that into the left center field.
So there's Connor Offshek, announces Grant Knipp.
They both wear four.
Offshek down the first base line. That's a fair ball going into the corner. In to score is Doyle, and stopping at first with a very softly hit first single down the first base line is Connor Offshek, and the All-Stars are putting up some runs. It's 3-2 now.
Offensive fireworks through 1 2/3 here at Ripken Field.
So Leichman just losing the zone a little bit and finding too much of it maybe. Keith Torres digs in here, the 10-hole hitter. Won't get used to that ever.
Nope.
3-2 the score. Ripken flush to a lead. 4 hits all in this inning and 3 runs. Leichman delivers to Torres, taken just inside a little bit, and it's ball 1. Torres, for those of you that may be new here, I don't know if any of you are, probably some of our normal viewers here tonight, but Torres, just tremendous eye at the plate as he takes a strike there. It's 1-1, or 2-0, excuse me, inside. Leichman just hoping to get out of this inning with less unscathed than he had been, and it's outside. 3-0. Torres, his propensity to work the walk, there's no stranger to that. Flying Hawaiian, he's known as. Has a 3-0 count and some pitches to work with. Leichman sets and delivers. And there's ball 4, so Keith Torres is aboard with a walk, and with 2 outs, the order turns over for Darius Foster.
Torres, just because he's playing in the All-Star game doesn't mean he's going to change his approach at the bat. Of course, very patient hitter, guy who likes to work, make the pitcher work, and able to work the walk there, and he's on base here. 2 more runners on, and another in scoring position now for Darius Foster. I don't think they're going to shift against him as the lefty. I guess they will. I mean, this is a spot where if I'm there, I guess 2 outs, but if he can put one straight down the third base line, could be a really nice position there with Ty Kelly, the sole defender on the left side of the infield.
No stranger to the bunt down that side is Darius Foster, a guy that really knows how to get on base. Whether it be the walk, infield single, bunt single, he's a guy that can put it, if he puts it in play, good things will happen. 3-2 the score, first pitch to Foster, taken outside, ball 1. Very, very tremendous crowd on hand here. A couple people up in the upper deck too. Didn't expect to see that. Thought those were going to be empty all night, but I want to say there's probably a little more than we see at Povich. There's a strike there, 1-1.
I'd say probably right around maybe 1,000, 1,500.
We'll get the official attendance number.
We're told the capacity here is right around 6,000. And I mean, at least half the lower level is full.
Inside, back pick for Lavarnway. Torres not going anywhere.
Nice back pick there.
Yeah, Lavarnway, I mean, he...
Perfect spot, really, right for the first baseman in the field.
Known as a defensive catcher in his major league time, and a guy that does carry a pretty strong bat, too. 2-1 here to Darius Foster. Inside, ball 3. 3-1 now. This is by far the biggest stadium I've ever called the game at in terms of capacity. Breaking records as we go along. Got MLB out of the way, or minor league baseball out of the way. Next step, MLB. I don't know if I've been in a press box in a major league stadium.
They're pretty nice, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I would assume so. As it gets away from Lavarnway for ball 4, and that'll...
Either it's ball 4 or hit the front foot of Darius Foster. Either way, he'll take first base.
He is aboard now. Bases are loaded with Stephen Rice coming up, and Leichman's going to get talked to by Ryan Lavarnway. Speaking of Lavarnway, we'll take you to a highlight from his career during the next commercial break. Highlight that we spoke to him about when he was on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Told us that did not play a defensive inning. He was there for 26 days with Pittsburgh. Did not play a defensive inning during his time with the Pirates, but has that one keystone moment to take home with him. So there's Stephen Rice, donning number 43 instead of 48 on the big board. Don't worry, Ripken Stadium. We've had to deal with that all year too. Outside, ball 1 to Rice. Salisbury, D3 guy. D3 champion Salisbury. 1-0. Taken outside. Bases loaded. A couple of guys dancing up the base. That's a do see guy trotting out to the bullpen now for Israel. That is Jake Rosenberg, listed as an outfielder. There's a good pitch from Leichman. Catches the inside portion of the plate, and it's 2-1. Rice takes a pitch that pops outside, and the count goes to 3-1 once again. Leichman in danger of walking in another run.
Plenty of work here for Leichman in the top of the second. 2 outs here, though, a chance for him to get out of it.
Rice flares one into shallow center field. Going back is the second baseman Glasser. It'll make the catch for out number 3, but the CRCBL All-Stars tack on 3 runs. They lead it 3-2 as we head to the bottom half of the second inning here on Big Train TV. First play from Ryan LaVarnway's career.
Pop him up.
One
gone.
Penn Price is retired. And here's a soft Lowengarten, the center fielder, slugged .645 at Mansfield University. Lowengarten last night was involved in a couple of plays, some big moments. Jeremy Wolf, the on-deck hitter, pitch to Lowengarten, goes around on a swing that I don't think he wants to write home about. Take that one back. Strike one.
Yeah, Lowengarten, a really capable defensive center fielder, I think, as we've seen, especially last night. I'm sure we'll see a little bit tonight as well.
And strike 2 here, swing and a miss from Lowengarten. Dunleavy looking like a well-oiled machine out there on the mound.
See plenty of Silver Spring-Takoma pitching staff here tonight. As you said, Stephen Rice, the only batter in the lineup.
It's inside, nearly hits Lowengarten. It's 1-2.
Yeah, but really good pop into the mitt there of Danny Neareye behind the dish.
Having some trouble with the scoreboard.
Yeah, they had the Ripken runs in the top of the first. Not quite correct there.
Lowengarten takes strike 3 call, and Dunleavy has 2 quick outs.
Beautiful, beautiful breaking ball coming in tight on Lowengarten, just dropping straight over the dish for called strike 3.
Very good pitch there from Tommy Dunleavy, no doubt. Rings up. A hitter, a soft Lowengarten. Here's Jeremy Wolf. We didn't see him last night, but he's in. Here's the pitch.
And of course, as part of the international rules here, with the Ripken helping to get Team Israel ready for next week's Tokyo Olympics. Of course, the extra hitter afforded both teams.
Roped into the gap, that's going to split it and go all the way to the wall. Bounces up onto the warning track, and Wolf heading for second. He ambles in there, and it's a 2-out double for Jeremy Wolf. What a shot off the bat that was. Bounced near that Horizon Cinemas banner in left field, right center field. And 2 outs, Ty Kelly has an RBI chance.
Yeah, so 10 batters in each lineup, and so far both able to take advantage. Keith Torres, the 10th guy to the plate for the Ripken All-Stars. He walked, and now Jeremy Wolf with a loud rope to right center field.
Lineup card turns over and switching around to the other side of the plate is Ty Kelly. He's the bat for both sides now as Tommy Dunleavy, the righty, takes on Ty Kelly, the lefty.
And with 9 pitchers scheduled for the Ripken All-Stars, of course, 1 each inning. Want to give all of those selected to be with the team here today.
First pitch from Dunleavy. It's up high, ball 1.
Might see Kelly have to jump around across the plate a couple times.
Yeah, tonight, so we'll see how Coach Sal works with his pitchers. He does want everybody to get into this game at some point. 1-0 to Kelly, outside, ball 2. Ty Kelly, a couple times he was an all-star in the minor leagues. Made his debut after over 1,000 minor league games. Was included on their postseason roster as well. Hit his first major league home run in Pittsburgh off Jamison Tyone.
Not a bad guy to have it off.
And it was from this side of the plate. Runner on second is Wolf. Dunleavy looks back, 2-1 to him. Outside, ball 3.
I mean, obviously a guy at this level is surely used to having to go back and forth, switch hitting-wise. But that can't be the easiest thing to do, is you try to get settled in on one side of the plate, and all of a sudden you have to work from the other.
Kelly takes his second walk of the day in as many innings. And there's 2 runners on for Mitch Glasser.
Yeah, maybe try to get a little bit further last time. Kelly picked off as part of the fielder's choice, hit into by Mitch Glasser, who eventually would come around to score.
So Glasser up now. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. CRCBL All-Stars lead at 3-2 with 2 outs here. Dunleavy was cruising through the first 2 batters, and then all of a sudden, a couple of runners on the bases. Glasser, tonight playing second base. Saw him as the extra, or saw him as one of the outfielders last night, I believe. Glasser, fans on strike 1 there. Big cut. 1. So 1-1 here to Glasser with 2 runners on. The pitch from Dunleavy. Glasser loops one into right and into the stands. That's going to get just a little bit out of the reach of Catula. And it's 1-2. Dunleavy has him where he wants him here with 2 strikes. Of course, last night, Big Train able to get a lead against Israel, 7-6, and then Rob Pollard came and knocking at the door. 1-2 skips outside a little bit.
Yeah, with 2 outs in the bottom of the top of the 7th as well. A pseudo save situation for Big Train pitching last night. Obviously, they were going to play the bottom of the 7th regardless, as it was an exhibition game.
Glasser lines it to third, and stepping on the bag for the force for out number 3 with a 5U. It's Connor Offshack. We head to the top of the 3rd here at Aberdeen, the Aberdeen Complex, Ripken Stadium. Big Train TV.
Fans, let's wish a very happy 60th birthday to Tim Will. That's Alex Katz. Now pitching for the international team, number 47, Alex Katz.
Friend of the show, friend of the Big Train TV, Alex Katz, the new pitcher on the mound, the lefty in the White Sox organization, was drafted by the White Sox. Alex Katz, really tremendous that we were able to talk to him last night. So he faces off against the mighty righty and Kemp Alderman, and a runner on second and a runner on first for international rules. It's going to be Danny Neary at second, and Stephen Rice at first base. Intriguing. Top half of the third inning, CRCBL lead it 3-2. Leichman gave up 3 runs in the last inning. Katz takes over. Katz last night says playing in the WBC and then going to the Olympics is just unmatched. Alderman swinging and misses. Both runners will move up as it gets away from the catcher. No foul ball there. It's 0-1 to Alderman. So, Alex Katz now has 2 runners in scoring position to deal with.
I don't know what the umpire conference is here.
They're going to
playing with a 4 umpire crew, by the way.
So they'll see if they can get the runners back. So again, we apologize for the
should be a little bit better now.
Stream that went kablamo, apparently. Alex Katz entering to Getting Jiggy with It by Will Smith. Will I Am. Not Will I Am. Will Smith. So Alderman, 0-1 here on him. This is against Alex Katz. See how he fares against the lefty here. Guy that is hammered right-handed pitching. It's inside and strike. Alderman fans on that one, 0-2.
So I mean, we were able to talk to Alex last night about, I guess that was it DeMarte or was it Katz? We talked about how to handle a bases loaded jam with no outs.
It was DeMarte.
Okay, but still, you got it. Ooh.
It's Alderman, whoa, strike 3, gets away, and Alderman will saunter back to the dugout. It's out number 1. Swing and strike there from Alex Katz, who's got a big arm.
But of course, this is the benefit of games like this. You know, towards the tail end of this 9-game exhibition swing for Team Israel, they'll finish out with NYPD up in Brooklyn in I think either tomorrow night or in a couple of days. I think they get a day off for travel tomorrow. I'm not totally sure on that. Don't quote me there. Before flying over to Tokyo. But you know, this is not a position a lot of these minor leaguers are going to face with 2 on and nobody out to start the inning.
There's a whole great diving stop by Wanger to second, and he'll get the force. Oh, what a play there by Mitch Glasser, I believe, at first base, or Ben Wanger. No, it was Ben Wanger with a beautiful diving stop, and man, what an out recorded there. Hang an exclamation point next to that one. A guy that just made a tremendous stop ranging to his left. Saves a run from coming in and a runner off the base paths.
Yeah, would have saved, or did save another RBI. Would have been another RBI for Grant Knipp, who just a little bit unlucky there. Something we haven't necessarily seen from him in the last few games, as well as he's been hitting the baseball.
Everybody clap your hands, please. Cha-cha, or Cupid Shuffle. Up comes Mark Catula. They're calling him Matt Catula. I feel really bad for him. Here's first pitch. Inside ball 1. 2 outs here. A very nice recorded stop. You can hang an exclamation point next to that one for Ben Wanger. I mean, just tremendous diving stop to his left. Made the play. Sensational play there from Ben Wanger to stop that from potentially getting 2 runs in. Katz delivers. Catula fouls it way off and into the club boxes.
Yeah, got a decent piece of that one.
It's 1-1.
So you'll notice, now that we have our camera going a little better, you'll notice that Alexandria and Big Train in their road, Alexandria in the gray, Big Train in the black, but Silver Spring in the home whites. That's because their roads are a little similar royal blue to the ones that Israel are wearing.
Alexandria, of course, got permission from the New York Yankees to use their schemes for their jerseys. And flip over the Alexandria A, it's the Y of the Yankees. Take out that little dash, it's the Y of the NY on the Yankees logo.
Yeah, really cool origin story there for the Alexandria team branding.
Cats pumps a strike in there, and it's 2-2.
And I do have to say, the royal blue of Team Israel just looks sharp everywhere you see it. On the merchandise we see out there in the stands, on the glove of Ryan Lavarnway, the catcher behind the dish, and the sweatbands. He's even got the Israeli blue shin guards and catching gear now, a little bit different from the Cleveland colors he's used to. And of course, Cats out there with the blue glove as well.
Lavarnway, I believe, 2019 or 2020 was with the Marlins, and I remember him having a couple of hits against the Mets in the game.
There's some peak color analysis right there.
Foul down the right field line. That's why you're color commentator.
For now.
For now, we'll switch over for the middle half of the fourth. So I can go down and maybe get an Israel hat. Potentially. Once again, we do apologize for the lagging of our stream. Hopefully the audio is good, though. 2-2 here to Catula.
Ooh.
Whoa, inside it hit him, and he is aboard. That's not fun to take. The bases are loaded. Catula hit by the pitch. He's aboard for the second time today, and up comes Jack Cohn, who popped out to short his last time up. Two outs.
Number 13, center fielder Jack Cohn.
Jack Cohn out of William & Mary. Won't see him pitch in this game probably, but we will see a new pitcher next inning at least.
Saw a really great inning from Jack on the mound last night for the Big Train against Team Israel. If you missed it, you can go check out replays of that game and every Big Train game, including this one throughout the year, right here on the Big Train TV YouTube channel.
So, first offering now from Cats to Cohn. Low, ball one. Near the runner at third. On second is Grant Nip and Catula at first. Very tremendous atmosphere tonight. Nice night for some baseball.
Yeah, got a little breeze up here in the press box. No complaints anywhere.
Except for maybe our connection. 1-0 to Cohn is outside, or inside, excuse me, ball two.
They can't get away scot-free, I guess.
Jack Cohn here with a 2-0.
All right, Sean McDonough.
It's inside, ball three. Sorry.
Nature calls, right?
I guess so. Alex Katz, after hitting Catula with a pitch, has lost the zone a little bit. Right beside 95, I-95. See the big marker for this as you drive down it, because there's a strike poured in from Katz, and it's 3-1. Now, is that the score?
I think it's the back of the scoreboard, and there's signage on the back of the scoreboard pointing towards the interstate, letting everybody know.
This is Ripken Field, Ripken Stadium and Leidos Field.
The Ripken Way.
Here's the 3-1, smoked into right field, coming on as the right fielder. Rickles not going to make the play, and two runners are going to come in. Nip coming to the plate, throw is cut off, and it's 5-2, CRCBL. So Jack Cohn checks in with a single to move the runner over and get two runners in. It's 5-2.
Yeah, hard hit baseball right there. Rickles charging as hard as he could, able to take a nasty looking hop almost straight into the gut.
Right fielder number 27, Trevor Doyle.
Trevor Doyle, Sacramento State Hornet, coming up. We hope our audio's doing good. We don't know about the video, as that's probably neither here nor there at this point. Trevor Doyle, Sacramento State, like I just said, and taking on Alex Katz, has given up a pair in this inning.
We're told no day off tomorrow. Of course, thanks to all those watching, hopping in the live chat. Send us any questions you have about the Ripken side of the team. For those Israel fans joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We love our new fans, and maybe if you guys stay around for the rest of the season, we'll be live until the end of July, of course, as playoffs are coming up. 0-1 here to Doyle. Doyle tried to hold his swing, and he did. 1-1.
Yeah, and I think that's what talking to some of those major leaguers, some of the other guys really, including Jonathan DeMarte and Alex Katz, the pitcher here, who joined us in the booth last night. That's the coolest thing to hear from them is, you know, they're not just representing a nation like the other 5 teams in the Olympics. They're representing this heritage. They're representing what makes them proud to be Jewish, what makes them proud to be converted Israeli citizens, what makes them proud to don the blue and white. And you see this fan base not just in Israel, but, you know, in New York, throughout the United States, throughout the world, really, diaspora of Jews that, you know, have spread around.
Good word.
Oh, believe me, ingrained into my head from an early age. That's what happens when you grow up with a Hebrew school teacher, but thankful, of course, for all the educational opportunities that afforded me.
2-1 to Katz. Zips up high, ball 3, 3-1.
Never a stranger to any museum in my childhood.
Trevor Doyle, number 27. A guy that, you know, his bat, I mean, he speaks softly but carries a loud bat.
Loud stick.
Loud stick, and not speak softly. We've talked to him quite a bit. He's a very nice guy. We'd love to get him up here at some point before the season's over. Doyle fouls it off and into the picnic pavilion, picnic area. Whoa, skittering onto the concourse and out towards the youth fields. Just a couple of kids head over for that ball, and the count is now full.
And so for Doyle, we mentioned the connection to Cimarron High School, of course. The high school of Ellie Kligman, recently drafted in the 10th round by the Washington Nationals, an observant Jew who was drafted while traveling on the Team Israel bus down here the other night.
Saw that video.
Up in Hartford.
It was something special to see. Runners go. Doyle goes down swinging. The side is retired, but not after 2 more runs come across the score. Bottom of the 3rd coming up for Israel. They're trailing by 3.
Now pitching to a Ripken All-Star, number 27, John Armstrong. Now batting for the CRCBL national team, number 36, Ryan.
John Armstrong, Alexandria Aces hand as he takes over on the mound here for this 3rd inning. Bottom of the 3rd, Ryan LaFarnway, the leadoff hitter. Just flush into the game. How about you face off against the former or current major leaguer?
Current minor leaguer, technically. Not to get technical with you, but
Strike.
beautiful pitch
Armstrong,
there from Armstrong.
1-1. LaFarnway, number 36. New catcher behind the plate is his battery mate, Matt Stone. The only Big Train pitcher to make the All-Star game. We were informed that others could have, but they pitched in last night's game, so they're unavailable.
Fortunately, do have to inform you, no online live stats tonight.
LaFarnway hits it off the catcher, and it rolls in front of home plate.
LaFarnway hitting 3rd tonight and catching. See how long he lasts behind the dish. We saw substitution for him last night, of course, as we've mentioned. Still getting acclimated to being again with Team Israel after coming from Columbus.
Spoke about how special it was to just come here and a little bit, even if it's a little bit late.
Yeah, a few more minor leaguers, few more players who work in professional organizations, meeting the team directly in Tokyo, not with them on this exhibition swing.
Sidearm or delivery there from Armstrong as it's inside ball 2. 2-2 here to LaVarnway. Varnway's played with a couple of major league teams. Red Sox, started out in the Red Sox organization, made his way to several, a lot on the East Coast. Pittsburgh, Miami, Cleveland, Cincinnati. He's really made his rounds.
Certainly has.
LaVarnway drives one left field. But
what we should have asked him, and what I'd be curious to hear the answer is how much does he rate being with Team Israel and being a part of this squad compared to some of his other teams? You know, where would he rank it really? Because I would imagine it's right up near the top.
I
and
think
that's how special this experience is for a lot of these players.
I believe he came up with the Red Sox around the year before they won the World Series. But I think it was the year of the chicken and beer scandal with John Lester and all them in their rotation. 2-2 to LaVarnway, ripped up the middle to second. Torres, short-handed, fires first in time for the double play. So how about that? Keith Torres showing his range, turns a 6-3 double play.
Yeah, and of course, if you're confused how the runners got there, starting with the international extra innings rule, 2 runners on to start this inning. Saw the same thing in the exhibition game last night.
So you could theoretically...
Keith Torres able to dispose of them pretty quickly. 2 outs here and the lone runner on third.
You could theoretically, throw 1 pitch in this inning and get out of it.
Theoretically, yeah.
Throw 0 as well if you pick off the runner.
Well, you could pick off both runners and that still only would be 2 outs.
You could throw a maximum of 1. Well, then you could intentionally walk them and then...
Yeah, I mean, if your pickoff move is working well enough where you're able to throw out 2 runners already, why not intentionally walk them? Get a chance to throw out all 3.
Nick Rickles fouls it off. So 7-inning game tonight. I'll be taking over for the top half of the next inning, and then Ben will be sending it home like last night where we did it, but the other way. 0-2 though to Nick
Teamwork
Rickles.
Makes the dream work.
Singled his first time up. The pitch, low, ball 1.
And catching might actually be one of...
Rickles sends one high in the air, but Cone, it's playable, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So a couple runners start the inning on the base pass, but they're erased on a 6-3 double play, and a pop out, fly out to center to end the inning. CRCBL still leads at 5-2. We'll be back here on Big Train TV for the top of the 4th.
Okay, so what we're going to do...
14, Joey Wagner.
Yep. 6'2" right-hander Joey Wagman takes over on the mound. He faces off against Matt Stone, the new catcher, who fouls it back on the first pitch he sees of the ball game. And he is down 0-1 to Wagman. Wagman, the third Israel pitcher tonight. There we go. 0-1 to Stone. Oh, up and in, hits him. And Stone is aboard and greeted very rudely in his first AB of the evening.
Yeah, so Wagman, another one of those utility guys, listed as an infield for Team Israel, and one of the more experienced guys on this squad. Joined the team way back in 2016 for the WBC qualifying tournament. Drafted by the White Sox way back in 2013. Pitched for Chicago as well as Oakland. Some independent ball as well. Had surgery in between the WBC and those 2019 Olympic qualifiers.
Here's Connor Offshack, who taps one in front of the plate. Wagman will look at second for a little bit and then fire to first. Skips in the dirt, but a good dig out there by Wanger.
And you can see the infielder in him on that little hop step.
So I got to stop saying dirt because it's turf in the infield, turf all over, but the mound and the plate are dirt.
And it does, as you see on the camera, it does really make for an interesting contrast with the dark brown of the turf all around and then the light brown of the dirt.
It almost seems like they put a little too much diamond dry out there in the field.
Just a bit too much. But a really beautiful ballpark overall.
This ballpark.
The Mets-esque orange foul poles. I know you'll appreciate that.
Oh, of course. Inside, looking to set up, there's LaVarn Way. Torres takes up and in. There's exactly where he was set up, and it's 1-0. Runner on second now is Stone. Offshack, the ground out. Sacrifice ground out for him. This stadium is like the championship field in backyard baseball. Very similar to it, but I mean obviously on a much larger scale with 6,300 seats.
The second backyard baseball field we've played in this year.
Well, I mean the T-Bolts play at a backyard baseball field. I mean, you know, got to get my backyard baseball references whenever I can. I've played so many games of that game, and man, it's fun.
Want to play some between the next inning?
I would love to. Billie Jean Blackwood, the best closer of all time, by the way.
I think we've got some other things to attend to in the meantime.
Oh, of course. 2-0 right down the middle to Keith Torres. And it's 2-1, and, you know, very underrated hitters on that I've found, Ernie Steele and Gretchen Hasselhoff, really just two phenomenal. But let's get back to another underrated hitter in Keith Torres here. Here's the 2-1 from Wagman, inside ball three. It shows just how tremendous his eye is at the plate. I think that's the third three-ball count we've seen, or the second three-ball count we've seen on Torres today. He walked his last time up. Looking to do the same. Good sacrifice, 1-3 ground out for Connor Offshack. Turned around and checked on the runner at second, but I don't think Stone's going anywhere. I've seen him get a little bit too big for his britches in the batter's box. That's for sure. You know, it wasn't backyard baseball, but I know in the Mets rain delay, I think they played, I don't know what baseball game they played on the big screen, but they did play a baseball game on the big screen. I think it was Slugfest or something. Up the middle, Torres, it's going to skip right into the middle, the diving Bertram. He spins and fires first, and it gets away. And Offshack coming to the plate. Here's the throw, and it is in time as he tries to dive out of the way and swim over the tag. Stone is cut down at the plate, but man, a nice diving effort there by Bertram. Nonetheless, it's the second time we've seen that. I have no clue how the heck they're going to score that play.
Good luck with that.
Torres is aboard.
So Torres reaches.
Almost like a backyard baseball player right there.
I think we haven't seen an error tonight, right? So that's, I believe, going to be a throwing error.
Yeah, that's going to be an E6 and then
a 1-2 put out.
1-2.
Or 3-2 put out.
Yeah, E6 3-2 that allows Torres to reach. Cut at the plate and checking on him is Wagman. Once again, we thank everybody for tuning in tonight. New people, old pals, old friends.
New friends,
good buddies, and acquaintances.
Mishpacha from all around the world.
Really enjoy anyone that tunes in and tells us some stuff. And pitch from Wagman right down Broadway.
That's
And
family,
it's
by
on
the way, Tyler.
It's family? I wish I knew that. We heard a tremendous Yiddish version, though, of
That was
Take Me Out to the Ball
a
Game.
rousing Yiddish version of Take Me Out to the Ball
That was
Game.
incredible.
That's
dude.
what it was.
0-1 now. Go Aberdeen, they say, as we're here in Aberdeen. No one said that except for me. I said it like 4 times as we approached the ballpark. Legendary quote of groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons. 1-1. From Scotland, of course. Aberdeen, Scotland. Not quite Aberdeen, Maryland.
Different Aberdeen.
But hey, I'm sure they say the same thing here. Just go Aberdeen, not go Aberdeen. Check
Did
on
see-
Torres. Ooh, close play.
Did
Safe.
see a sign for a golf course on the way in here. Don't know if it's links style or not.
Yeah.
Did enjoy the Open this past weekend, though. The Open Championship.
See if they leave Torres stranded at first or stranded at second. See if the hitter... Well, Darius Foster's out of the game. Brady Gump didn't even realize he's up at the plate. So, Brady Gump taking over for Darius Foster. Believe he'll probably be in right, and they'll move Trevor Doyle over to left, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they said on the lineup card that Doyle was playing
Right all game?
left.
Left. Okay, so
So I think it's just a one-for-one
All right.
swap. Doyle will stay in
Brady
right.
Gump has been on a tear of recent, and he fouls that one way off. Smashes one of the banner boards.
That's the
near the
second time
clubs.
tonight we've heard that.
I'm going to be skulking around this stadium after the game to check if any baseballs have...
I think you were beaten to that one by just a bit there, Tyler.
You know, you're right, but we found like 4 of them before the game. So you can never be certain.
There's two really. One nicer than the other. Right in the gutter in front of us of the overhang over the first level.
Gump, I don't know what he was swinging at. Torres down to second. Gump on a very ugly swing and a miss at strike. And that'll retire the side. So that'll do it here for the CRCBL All-Stars in the top half of the 4th. They still lead it 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th here on Big Train TV. Yard. What's he, Pete? Oh my! Oh crap! Ben? New pitcher. 19. That's J.D. Ogden. All right. You want to see a dead body? I love Pete, dude.
Ogden.
The rest of the third. Doyle struck out.
Yep.
Stone got the third.
Mike's still on, by the way.
It's not on. So hold the mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, third
First
down.
baseman number 23, Benny Wanger.
Ben Wanger is going to lead things off here against new pitcher J.D. Ogden as he takes the first pitch for a strike, and to take us home for the rest of the ball game, it is Ben Bobeck.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Ben Wanger stepping back to the box for the third time tonight. First baseman out there for Team Israel, and he'll be facing J.D. Ogden from the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, the Ripken All-Stars leading Team Israel by 3 runs, 5-2 here. A beautiful night for baseball at Aberdeen, Maryland. Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium here, part of the Ripken Complex. Wanger swings and misses at that one, and it's 2-1 from Ogden. 9 games, 1 start, 12 innings for Silver Spring-Takoma this year. Fires that one just on the outside edge of the plate, says the home plate umpire. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Really what we've seen from this this CRCI, I'm just stuck in Big Trainville, CRCBL pitching staff, is they've really held Israel in check tonight after that first inning. You know, they got 2 runs across, and then all of a sudden they come in and just put up a couple of zeros, which is exactly what I'm sure Coach Sal wants to see.
Foul back to the left side there from Wanger. Count stays 2-2. Ogden from the stretch delivers that one a little bit low. Wanger able to check his swing, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wanger reached on a walk back in the first. Got all the way to second. No further than that. We're going to do something here. 3-2 from Ogden. Misses outside. And 2 walks on the night now for Ben Wanger.
Yeah, Wanger showing a really good eye at the plate and good glove in the field, too. Man, a tremendous diving stop at first base.
A lot of patience there for Ben Wanger. He's able to take advantage, as we said, working the walk on the full count. Bringing up Scott Burcham, who delivered that big 2 RBI hit to score both runs in the bottom of the first. That one bounces away from the catcher, Matt Stone, for ball 1. Burcham, as we've said, out of the Colorado Rockies organization. He's had a pretty interesting night.
Oh, yeah.
Out there in the infield as well, playing shortstop, but really all over the place with how often Team Israel shifts. Takes ball 2 from J.D. Ogden. Lefty working out of the stretch. Comes set at the belt, checks over on the runner off first, and Burcham checks his swing. No, he didn't, says the first base umpire, and it's 3 balls, no strikes here on Burcham. Scott Burcham, here's the 3-0. That one's straight over the pipe. Burcham not even thinking about taking the bat off the shoulder there. 3 balls and 1.
J.D. Ogden, his windup really reminds me of Alex Woods. The way he just does that little whip. Look at that. That is...
Drops the arm all the way back, delivers the 3-1 pitch to Burcham, who laces it straight to Cone in center field. He scoops it up on 1 hop, fires it in. And Burcham has his second single of the night there. Nobody ready to move on that one despite having the 2 RBIs way back in the first. So Burcham now 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Bringing up Rob Pollard. As you said, he hit the go-ahead and eventually game-winning home run for Team Israel in that win over the Big Train, that exhibition win over the Big Train last night at Shirley Povich Field. A fantastic night down in Bethesda in front of a sold-out crowd of 850 plus, just outside the nation's capital. A little farther out here tonight in Aberdeen. This one misses outside. Ogden just looking to work back over the plate here. 2 runners on, nobody out for Israel as they look to cut into the All-Stars lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Pauler with that compact stance to the back of the left-handed box. 1-0 finds the outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ogden with a long look into Stone behind the dish. As the 4th pitcher for the All-Stars here tonight. Off speed, misses a little bit outside. Trying to find that outside edge where he got the first strike again. A little bit wider with the location that time, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Ogden now comes set, hands at the belt. Wanger off first, Bertram off first, Wanger off second there, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike again. Consecutive batters now with that count.
Pauler's home run last night, might be bidding for the longest at Povich Field this season.
And he swings and misses through that one, and the count is full now.
Looking to send it to the same exact spot.
A little bit deeper here in center field. 404 across the batter's eye. That black strip you see out there in center field. 375-ish to where Rob Pauler deleted one last night over the batter's eye. Just to the right of it, and he works the walk here to load the bases with nobody out for Zach Penpraise.
Penpraise grounded out his last time up. I'm sure Ogden is hoping for another one of those, maybe limit the damage a little bit in this inning, mitigate it. A lot of pressure here with the bases loaded, nobody out. Jim, we talked to Jonathan DeMarte. He said, I'm just looking to put anything in there to get an out in this situation.
Absolutely, of course. DeMarte gracious enough to join us up in the broadcast booth the other night. And this one from Ogden starts out high, 1-0. Ogden's control on the year has sometimes eluded him. 19 strikeouts for the T-Bolts, but 13 bases on balls issued. This one popped way up towards the upper deck here, right towards the microphone to our right.
I'm going to go check if that ball's there in between innings.
Okay. Get yourself a little souvenir. Can't blame you. 1-1 here to Penpraise at the dish.
I wonder what kind of balls are using.
Trying to create some souvenirs of his own. This one cracked right back up. Ogden collects, fires home for 1. Stone looking to first for 2. 1, 2, 3. A double play in numerical order.
Gallo Stradamus at the All-Star game. How about that? I thought he was looking for the ground ball. Gets it right up the middle, back to him, Ogden.
Sounded like Penpraise might have broke some lumber there on that one. And we'll see a pitcher out of the pen here with 2 gone. Of course, as we mentioned, 9 pitchers scheduled for the All-Stars. And we'll see our first mid-inning pitching substitution after this word from our friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Nate Beal, the new pitcher for the Ripken League All-Stars, also out of Silver Spring-Takoma. Brock Hunter making the pitching change there, relieving one of his pitchers for another. Beal, a rising sophomore out of Penn. 8 appearances for Silver Spring-Takoma on the year, 10 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs allowed. All of them earned. 15 strikeouts to 10 walks. An 0-2 record on the year. And he'll be looking to work out of even more of a jam. 2 runners on, 2 outs. With both those runners in scoring position here after a well-worked double play to lighten the jam. And a soft Lowengardt, the center fielder, will come to bat here as the first batter Beal faces.
Yeah, Nate Beal, we saw him way back when this season. We'll see if he can further mitigate the damage here in this inning with a runner on second and third.
And Tyler, before we get going here with a soft Lowengaard at the plate, have you ever seen a 1-2-3 double play?
So I've seen them happen before, but in Major League Baseball. Now, Big Train, that's a different story. I haven't seen any for the Big Train, but
First pitch fouled back into the screen from Lowengaard, and Beal quickly ahead here, 0-1.
I just am
Back to the right.
very happy with our setup today. I mean, couldn't ask for a better experience, bucket list experience, if I say so myself.
Absolutely. I think for me especially, of course, just the last 2 games working with Team Israel has been a treat. Nothing but gracious guests. Everybody from the Team Israel, from the staff, from head coach, from the players. It's just been an incredible experience to get to talk to them, get to understand what they're trying to do here. Looking to medal. That's the goal in next week's Tokyo Olympics. 2-1 swung on to even the count. Lowengaard missing that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the center fielder. Struck out looking back in the second. And Nate Beal looking to ring him up for the second time tonight. Long look in to Stone, the catcher. Comes set now, hands at the belt. Here's the delivery, 2-2. Misses low for ball 3, and the count is full.
So
picking up right where Ogden left off.
Did not get the baseball. There was a couple of kids up there.
I was looking for a report.
When I was talking to them, I said they were wondering if they could come in here, and I said after the game I'll show you around because they wanted to see what it looks like in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure I can let them look around a little bit. They said they'd keep the baseball, as you can hear them right now, I think, on the microphone.
And that one in there for a called strike 3. Lowengaard set down on strikes for the second time tonight. Israel gets the bases loaded with nobody out. And J.D. Ogden and Nate Beal combine to get out of the jam without allowing a runner to score. It's still 5-2. The Ripken League All-Stars with the advantage as we head to the top of the 5th here on Big Train TV.
You said Errol too.
I guess we're doing international rules again.
Yes.
Back to work here in the top of the 5th at Leidos Field, Ripken Stadium. A 5-3 advantage for the CRCBL All-Stars. And they'll start with 2 on here, of course. As we mentioned before, working with international rules. Joey Wagman, 6'2" righty, back to the mound for Team Israel. And he'll have to start by working his way out of a jam here. As we talked about back in the 3rd inning. Torres off of first. I believe it's Brady Gump off of first. Torres off of second. Second time they have botched that one. Ball 1 into Stephen Rice, the second baseman out of Salisbury, by way of Silver Spring-Takoma. Part of that D3 Championship College World Series squad for the Seagulls. Just across the Bay Bridge from here. From the stretch, here's the 1-1. Sharply hit straight to the mitt of the first baseman, Wenger, and he applies the tag. A 3-U double play. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, would that be a L3U double play right there? I mean, wow, we've seen 2 pretty interesting double plays already in these last 2 innings.
Back-to-back half innings as well. Wenger just able to snag that one right out of the air. Sharply hit off the bat of Rice, and a swipe tag left Brady Gump dead in the water. Trying to get back to the first base bag. Torres stays at second. 2 gone here for Kemp Alderman, the designated hitter. .44 RBIs on the year for Kemp Alderman out of Ole Miss. Chance for his first as an All-Star. Torres leading off second, works back as Wagman takes a roundabout step back, pick-off move, no throw. Glasser, the second baseman, cheating a little towards the second base bag, unlike before.
People are wondering.
Wenger comes set, hands at the chest. Now the throw back to Torres with a long lead off of second base. Good throw. Nice tag applied to Glasser by the front arm of Keith Torres, but not enough, and he'll stay at second base. 0-1 to Alderman at the dish. 2 gone here, and again a 5-2 lead for the All-Stars over Team Israel.
So if you're wondering why the sky is kind of hazy or kind of milky, it's because of wildfires, western wildfires, over this entire area. People are complaining about it in D.C. as well.
Yeah, of course. Record high temperatures across the entire western United States. We're in wildfire season as the smoke comes all the way east here. Just very unfortunate to see. Air quality not what we'd like on a otherwise very nice night for baseball here. 1-1 to Alderman. Wagman bounces this one. Torres will think about third base, instead trot back, collect himself. Nice block by the new catcher for Team Israel. Brian Lavarnway's night is done. Tal Urel, the substitution. Saw him play, come in as a substitution at catcher last night, as we talked about a little bit before, but also hop over to second base for the final inning down at Povich Field. See what the plans are for him tonight. For now, he's behind the dish, ready to catch the 2-1 pitch from Wagman. Breaking ball, fouled back lightly off the bat of Alderman, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
So we might see a 2-batter inning for the second time tonight.
Not quite the 1-pitch minimum you were talking about before.
Could be 0-pitch minimum, though.
Pretty close to it. Hypothetically, a little bit more acrobatics required to get to the 0-pitch minimum than the 1-pitch. Here's the 2-2 to Alderman. He grounds this one towards first. Wenger will take it, flip it over to Wagner on the cutoff, and the side is retired. So the big train start off with 2 on the bases. Sensationally turned double play by the first baseman, and a ground out by Kemp Alderman. 4-3 since the Ripken League All-Stars down quietly. They carry a 5-2 lead to the bottom of the 5th here on Big Train TV from Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium.
Don't call them the big train. Don't call them the big trains. Are you kidding me? It scored 4 runs. Red They're winning 5-0 against the Marlins. Yes. Take it back, take it back.
Swinging and missing at the first pitch he sees is Jeremy Wolf here. Starting off the bottom of the 5th for Team Israel. Doubled in his last trip to the bat. And now set to do work against the new pitcher for the All-Stars again. Or Nate Beal, rather. Continuing on. Of course, 2 runners on base as we had in the top of this inning. Just past the 5th inning stretch now. Had some nice take me out to the ball game. No Yiddish this time around, unfortunately, rather unfortunately. Team Israel trailing by 3 and looking to get themselves back into this one here with a nice opportunity, of course, for the international extra inning rules. Penpraise off of second. Loengart off of first, the left and center fielder respectively for the Israelis tonight. Jeremy Wolf, the hitter at the plate. 2-1 from Beal, checks back on the runner at second, delivers off speed in there, called strike 2. Wolf, a left-handed hitting outfielder. 2 years in the minor leagues in the Mets organization, Tyler. Led
I recognize his
Trinity
name.
University in Texas to the D3 National Championship back in 2016. Played in 17 games during the 2019 Olympic qualifiers. Works as a director of outreach for More Than Baseball, nonprofit that advocates for minor league players. Of course, a very valid cause that's getting a lot of attention the last few days. Here's the 3-2. Wolf jacks this one to center field. Cone working in, shy of the warning track, collects it. Tagging from second is Penpraise. And there's one gone here on a loud sacrifice out there from Jeremy Wolf.
Yeah, he smoked that ball to dead central. Maybe out in a smaller ballpark, but not certainly this one right here.
A lot of space back there for Jack Cone out of William and Mary to work in center field. As Brock Hunter back to the mound here for another pitching change, I believe. Of course, 9 pitchers on the All-Star game roster for the Ripken League, and in this 7-inning game, want to get as many of them reps as possible. We'll see what the move is here for Brock Hunter, new arm out of the pen, when we come back here on Big Train TV.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Some cowbells in action throughout the crowd here at Ripken Stadium as Kevin Silvestri from the Alexandria Aces, a rising senior at George Washington University here in the Washington, D.C. metro area, will enter here with a little bit of a interesting situation to work out of. Runners on the corners for Team Israel and one out. Asaf Lowengardt, the runner, or Zach Penpraise rather, the runner at third. Lowengardt over at first. Matt Stone behind the dish taking the warm-up pitches here from Silvestri. They're just about set to resume action here in the bottom of the fifth with Team Israel trailing 5-2. A golden opportunity to cut into that lead coming up in just a moment. Warming up to Zombie Nation by Kernkraft 500. Always a hype song. Is it 400?
Yes. The former goal song of, I think, current still actually for the Boston Bruins and New Jersey Devils.
You hear it at pretty much every sporting event you'll go to. No way to avoid it here. As top of the order comes to bat here for Team Israel, former Met Ty Kelly, looking to work something besides a walk. He's 0 for 0 in both of his plate appearances, 2 bases on balls.
So Ben, fun fact, the song is not actually called Zombie Nation.
No, it's
by
the song
Zombie.
is Kernkraft 400 by Zombie Nation.
Yeah, I was just saying, people, in case people didn't know that.
What did I say?
I said the other way around.
I think people know what I meant. Silvestri.
Do they?
Starting off here with a 1-1 count on Kelly. 10 games with the Aces this year, 8 games for Silvestri, 13 2/3 innings. And he works from the stretch here. This one misses a bit high outside on Kelly. That's 2-1. 17 strikeouts. I keep reading the wrong line for Silvestri. A 1.97 ERA with the Aces, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks allowed. We'll see the guy whose line I'm reading later in this game, Brock Burkhalter out of Auburn. This one misses high, and it's 3-1 on Kelly.
Kelly's walked both times tonight.
Basically what you'd expect out of the leadoff hitter. Ty Kelly doing it all so far. Versatile infielder. UC Davis way back when, drafted here into the Baltimore Orioles organization in 2013 and works his third walk here of the evening to load the bases with one gone here in the bottom of the fifth for Mitch Glosser, who we know has some pop in his bat. He delivered 2 home runs, as we mentioned before, in the last game against the other CRCBL All-Star squad made up of the South County Braves, Gaithersburg Giants, and the DC Grays. Glosser from the right-handed side. Here's the first pitch inside, nearly between his legs there. It's ball 1.
Just really thankful that we could bring this broadcast to everyone tonight, that we were afforded this chance to come here to Aberdeen and watch some good baseball and smell some very pungent popcorn.
Yeah, it got to you a little bit before the game. Here's a 1-0 pitch, high, and it's ball 2. Silvestri just looking to find the zone here.
Lavarnway's in the on-deck circle.
As coming off first base there was Ty Kelly. Silvestri trying to run him back.
So was Tollerell just catching the pitcher, or is he in the game somewhere?
Maybe Lavarnway to the designated hitter position.
Potentially.
Just trying to get him a couple more at-bats without wearing the knees out too much. DH before was Rob Poller. We'll have to see if he comes up for his next at-bat in a little bit. Way down in the 8-hole. Here's the 3-0 in there, called strike 1 on Glosser. 0 for 1 tonight, reached on a fielder's choice and scored on the RBI single by Bertram back in the first. Grounded out to off Shack down at third base to end the second. This one in there, called strike 2, and the count is full just on the outside edge of the plate, and the crowd politely disagrees.
Boos are raining down from the rafters here. There's not really any rafters at an outdoor baseball stadium, I guess.
I think you can tell what team most of the crowd is pulling for. Happy to bring you as much crowd noise as we can tonight. This one cranked into right center field. Doyle collects. Tagging from third and scoring is Penpraise. And the lead is cut down to 2, 5-3 in favor of the Ripken All-Stars as we get a little flashing lights here. That's a cool little effect from the light towers.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if we've seen that one before, as the lights weren't on when this game started way back at 6:08 p.m. So 2 outs now, still runners on the corners, as it was a few moments ago before the walk to Kelly. Glasser with the RBI sacrifice fly, bringing up, we believe, the designated hitter now, Ryan Lavarnway.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe Urel was just catching Wagman for that as Lavarnway.
So my guess is that Urel is batting for either probably Rob Poller.
Or it could be the extra hitter as well.
Well, because the extra hitter was Jeremy Wolf, right? And he just hit. So I believe, my guess is that Lavarnway is just the designated hitter. And he takes called strike one there, swings and misses at a good pitch there from Silvestri, and it's nothing and two. Silvestri, a long look in out of the stretch here. 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Lavarnway looking to get Team Israel a little bit closer. This one high and tight towards the chest of number 36. Wearing probably a sought-after uniform number for Team Israel.
And why is that?
36, double high. 18 is lucky number. Means life. The word high means life. If you calculate the numerical values in the Hebrew alphabet of the word, you get to 18. 18 times 2 is 36. It's double life. More life. 2-2 to Lavarnway at the dish. All sorts of knowledge being spilled out there. Lavarnway takes that one inside, and after a 0-2 count to start, he works this one full. Stone barking out directions. We see Offshack in that squat, ready position down the third base line. Silvestri toes the rubber. Gets the sign from his teammate Matt Stone behind the dish. Comes set, hands at the chest. Lavarnway ready at the plate. Here's the 3-2. Misses high, and the base is loaded again on the second walk of the inning.
Just missing his spots here. Really a tough couple of ABs that they've inflicted upon him, and nothing going right here on the mound for Silvestri.
So right fielder Nick Rickles will look to do some damage with ducks on the pond here, and 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th. A skinny run already home for Team Israel. They trail this one by 2, 5-3. First pitch from Silvestri outside, ball 1. Rickles, a versatile player. Second consecutive night we've seen him in right field, but listed as a power-hitting catcher, as he's described. Same alma mater as Jacob deGrom down at Stetson, drafted by the Oakland Athletics organization back in 2011. Count the Washington Nationals as one of his stops in his 7-year minor league journey.
Corey Kluber as well.
He drives this one towards Cone in center field and settles under it on the 2-0 count. And Rickles is retired along with the Team Israel side.
Get that NEFO there, Ben.
Bases loaded there as the crowd got excited on the 2-hit, hard-hit fly ball towards Cone in center. Israel gets one to cut the lead to 5-3 for the Ripken All-Stars. And they'll look to keep it that way. Wagner heading back to the mound when we come back to the top of the 6th here on Big Train TV.
It's a hazy sky because of wildfires. Capital weather gag set up, that's fun. Reds in the second inning. Playing the Mets.
Yeah, we're not big Cincinnati fans because we need their head of us. That's true.
Jared Eichhoff is fucking terrible.
Watch the language.
Now batting for the All-Star, catcher number 4, Grant Nick.
The extra hitter tonight for the Ripken League All-Stars, Grant Nipp, back to the dish, has been hot so far. And he chops the first one down to the third baseman. Kelly scoops it up and fires over. One pitch, and the runner is gone.
Looks to be actually a soft Lowengaard at third base now.
Okay, so Lowengaard in at third base. Nice spot there, Tyler. Didn't even have the chance to double check our defense there. Looks like it's 33 out in the outfield. At center now for Team Israel. That's Jake Rosenberg, coach at the Israel Baseball Academy. So Lowengaard at third. He retires Nipp. For the first time tonight, reached on the fielder's choice back in the third after a hard hit double in the second. Came around to score both times. So Team Israel happy to have Grant off the base paths. And they'll be facing Mark Catula here with a 0-1 count now. Joey Wagner still on the mound for his third inning of work. To the rubber, he fires home. Catula blasts this one to right field. Going back, working towards the track. It's over the head of Penpraise. Off the wall, fielding it, firing towards. Cut off by the shortstop Bertram. And Mark Catula stands in with a one-out double. I don't know, tricky situation out there for Penpraise in left field. It's the second time he's misjudged the ball a little bit, come in and ended up bouncing over his head. First one was the Trevor Doyle ground roll double that bounced towards the retired numbers out there. I believe it's Cal Ripken Sr., Cal Ripken Jr., and Billy Ripken. That would be my guess. 3, 7, and 8 out there beyond the 310 left field fence. Jackie Robinson as well. That blue 42 as Wagner works off the rubber to check back off Catula off second. So is that Ian Kinsler in left field now? No, it's Rob Pollard. Pollard moves to left field. Penpraise probably out of the game now.
No, he's at short.
So is Bertram out of the game, or is he just at a different position that I haven't looked at yet? Please let me know when you find out.
It is. So I'm glad I'm not on play-by-play anymore because I wouldn't be able to keep track of any of these.
Mitchell Glosser still at second. And Ben Wanger still at first. So there's the infield. Lowengaard, Penpraise, Glosser, and Wanger. 1-1 to Jack Cohn at the dish. Out of the College of William & Mary. The lefty drives one sharply towards center field. That's going to drop in. Catula down to third. And Jack Cohn has his second base hit of the day. Motoring down to second. Heads up. Base running there quite literally from Jack Cohn as he sees the throw from the center fielder Rosenberg go down to third and takes second base as well. A single advancing on the throw, and there's two in scoring position here with one out for Trevor Doyle.
Very well placed ball for Jack Cohn, and just put it right in front, and a little tough hop for the center fielder Rosenberg.
I believe we'll have a new right fielder as well. That's going to be Jeremy Wolf, moving from the extra hitter spot to Nick Rickles' spot in right. So a whole mess of defensive changes for Team Israel here. I believe we finally have them all sorted out. As Doyle stands in with that tall batting stance from the lefty. No shift on here with 2 in scoring position. That one bounces in the dirt. Nothing, or 1-0. And an air horn between pitches.
Interesting.
Doyle with a swing at that one. Seemed very convinced when he started it, not so much when he finished it. Count even, 1-1. So one more time around the diamond defensively. As Wagner sets here for the 1-1 to Doyle. Kicks, he fires. That one catches the outside edge of the plate. And it's 1-2.
Now, did they give
Wanger's still at first. Glasser's still at second. Penpraise moves from left to shortstop. Lowengart comes in from center to third base. Pollard moves out to left field. Rosenberg, a substitution in for Lowengart in center field. And Wolf over to right. That's the defensive alignment. Tollerell behind the dish. Wagner on the mound. This one bounces in front of Trevor Doyle inside. Dead ball there.
I think Kieran Garner.
2-2.
Or no, Joe Sarich up and pitching in the bullpen for this side.
Sarich, Garner, and Blake Burkhalter, the 3 pitchers left available for the collective coaching staffs. Chris Bursett from Alexandria, Sal Colangelo from the Big Train. As that one is fouled back into the screen by Doyle. Of course, Brock Hunter from Silver Spring-Takoma. A couple of the assistant coaches throughout the dugout as well, but those 3 working collectively to manage this combined all-star team. You see Bursett down at the third base line. Working with Mark Catula, 90 feet away. Jack Cohn down at second. 2-2 to Doyle. Wanger delivers outside, and the count is full. Joey Wagman out there on the bump. Laboring here through his 3rd inning of work. 2 runners in scoring position, 1 gone. Team trailing by 2, 5-3. All-Stars looking to extend the lead. This one inside. Ball 4. Doyle will take his base, and they are loaded here with 1 gone.
So they scored a double for Catula? Was he double or did he stop at first base?
Double for Catula.
Okay.
Advanced to third on the single by Cohn. And then Rosenberg's throw in to try to cut off Catula allowed Cohn to advance to second base. First base open for Doyle to advance. He takes the base there, bringing up Matt Stone. Catcher substitution in from Alexandria. I believe the only substitution we haven't seen is Garrett Farquhar. Also out of Auburn for Alexandria. There's the first pitch to Stone. Cut swing, not able to check himself there. And it's 0-1.
We'll see if he comes in for Torres at short late in the game, or if he's in at third base for Catula, or for whoever's third base now. I just forgot for a second there. Yeah, off Shack. We'll have to see what coach does.
Nothing in 1 on Matt Stone, the catcher. High batting stance from the right-handed side. That one catches the outside edge on him, and it's 0-2 from Wagman. Actually, I believe, despite being named to the roster, Farquhar not able to make the trip as he He's not listed as available off the bench on our lineup card. That one bends in for a called strike 3. Set down on 3 straight pitches is Matt Stone. And there's 2 out and a chance for Joey Wagman and Israel to get out of this one.
Very good placement. Dots the plate there.
Beautiful curveball in there just over the heart of the dish. And Stone retired.
What's the
Bring
number
up
one?
Connor Offshack.
What's the best thing in real estate? Location, location, location. And that was exactly how it was for that.
This one grounded up the left side. Backhanded play by Penn Praise, firing over to second and bouncing the throw. Coming home to score is Catula from third. Cone from second. It's a 2-run error for Penn Praise at shortstop. And the All-Stars extend their lead to 7-3.
Yeah, and Penn Praise in at short, it will find you. It will find you when you're in a new position, and it did. And he had to rush the throw and maybe should have just put it in his back pocket because he had to run a long way for that ball. And 2 more runs are in.
A tough backhanded stop deep in the hole there from Penn Praise. Able to collect it, trying to fire from the ground. And just short hop the throw to Glosser covering at second. Trying to get the shortest possible throw he could. So 2 comes home to score. Down to first is Connor Offshack. Bring up Keith Torres, the shortstop from the Bethesda Big Train.
So they call that an error or a hit?
Maybe a hit because it was so deep in the hole. Only 1 error still on the scoreboard, which came way back earlier in the game.
I'd say a single and an error.
7 runs on 9 hits as it stands.
What a pickoff move. That was close.
Wenger just maybe not quite able to get the tag down on Connor Offshack on first. Want to know at Torres at the dish. Wagman sets and fires. This one misses a little bit low and away. Ball 2.
So what we see with Torres, you're not going to get him to chase too often, and I could say that, and he could chase right here, but he's a guy that has just been so refined at the plate in his eye, and he just knows what pitches he wants to hit.
Wagman, little jump throw back over. Check on Offshack off first. Trevor Doyle dancing off of third, 90 feet away from the 8th run of this game, potentially for the Ripken League All-Stars. 7-3, scoreboard wrong on the screen as it stands. And now it's updated. Torres gives this one a ride to left center field. Pollard going back. That one is gone. Goodbye. Keith Torres. Did that bounce in?
Man, I've been there. Off the top of the wall, very close to going out of the ballpark, and just
nearly gone for Keith Torres. One of his hardest hit balls of the year, off the top of the wall and down. Scoring from third easily is Doyle. All the way from first is Offshack. And it's 9 on the board now for the Ripken League All-Stars on their 10th hit of the night, as Torres crushes one over the head of Rob Pollard into the left center gap. He stands on second with a 2 RBI double. And we'll get a visit from Eric Holtz out to the mound. He's trying to settle Joey Wagman in.
I do appreciate you using my home run call there, though, Ben.
Just comes naturally.
You know, that part of the ballpark is such. I was saying before the game, I'm like, oh, thank God it's not a.
It's very dark out there too.
Well, yeah,
with the
and
hazy cloud cover.
As I was saying, I was like, I'm happy it's not like a chain link fence out there and you actually can see. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, especially with how dark it is over towards that notch little part in the left center field fence, and it was a double.
So back to the top of the order here with Brady Gump, the left fielder, in for his second at-bat of the night. Went down swinging back in the 4th, and an RBI opportunity with Torres off of second. As we've talked about with Torres, very patient hitter. We've seen him put a charge into a couple of balls there. Nearly got the big fly. This one blocked down by Orell behind the dish. 2-0 to Gump at the plate. 9-3. CRCBL All-Stars looking to be just the second team to defeat Team Israel on this 8 games so far exhibition swing in preparation for the Tokyo Olympic Games. One of 6 nations to compete next week in Japan. Here's a 2-0 to Doyle. Cracks this one towards Penpraise, able to field the tough high hop. Fires over to Wenger in time. And the side is retired. Biggest scoring inning for either team so far here in the top of the 6th as the Ripken All-Stars tack on 4. They lead 9-3. Middle of the 6th here from Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium on Big Train TV.
I don't remember there ever being an error, so. Oh, well, I didn't write that as an error. Is there a light in that Ripken Stadium thing? Like, no, in the sign on top of the scoreboard. Well, Ben, it's the 7th. Do you want me to take one?
Joe Sarich.
Sarich.
Joe Sarich, the new pitcher to the bump here for the Ripken All-Stars. Also with the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts in those home white uniforms. And working quickly here, delivering this one in there for called ball, 1-1. Two and one now. This one grounded towards off shack, backhanded at third, firing from deep in the hole. He's got a cannon there. And he's in time to retire Ben Wenger, the first baseman.
Nice cutoff there by off shack to throw that out. The big out number 1.
Wenger worked the count to 2-1. Grounded that one sharply to off shack. Charged a little bit, backhander. And firing over. So now the shortstop.
So, you know, do you think that Torres ball's a home
Scott
run?
Burcham still hitting despite not being in the field.
Is it a home run at Povich Field?
It's a good question. I'm going to go with no, just because I don't know how deep it is to that left center part of the ballpark where that blue ad sign is. And it's 310 down the left field line, which is shallower than the 330 at Povich, right?
We don't know how high the fence is either.
Don't know how high the fence is. Don't know how deep it is to the corners. 310 down both corners. 404 to either side of center field. Perfectly framing Jack Cohn out there at the moment. 2-1 to Burcham. As we mentioned, started off as the shortstop. A defensive substitution for him in the last half inning. But still at the plate here. Rob Poller also standing in the non-existent on-deck circle. I'll have to imagine one. This one grounded towards Offshack again. Tough hop into his mitt, but backhanded, scooping and firing over. 2 consecutive 5-3s to start the inning for Joe Sarich. And the All-Stars have 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th as they look to hang a 0 in response to putting up 4 in the top of the inning. First, Brock Hunter out to the mound. He'll signal to the bullpen. I believe we'll see Kieran Garner coming in from the pen in just a moment. Indeed, it will be the rising senior at UMBC, up from around this area, a little bit north of Baltimore. And he'll get a pretty great walk-up song here. The form of Enter Sandman.
Yeah, very good.
Not quite Hell's Bells, but
Not Hell's Bells for Big Train, but I'm fine with them not playing that in these 2 games. Maybe they'll play it in the 7th. You don't know.
they'll cut it off pretty quickly there.
Garner, though, got a big arm, really zips it in there, and is a guy that is unflappable out there on the mound.
CRCBL Pitcher of the Week a couple weeks ago for Silver Spring-Takoma. Matt Bedford getting the honor last week. Would have been here, as you mentioned, one of the All-Star worthy arms for the Big Train, who was used last night in that exhibition game down at Povich Field. As the Ironbirds play a host family ad out there on the big scoreboard. Yeah, not quite as good as the Metallica we heard before here now. But Garner, as you mentioned, really good zip on the fastball and a brutal breaking ball for the batter as well.
Yeah, it's really hellacious out there. Just got great break on it and can spin it in there with the best of them, and that's really what we've seen from him every time he's done battle with the Big Train this season, so we'll see if he can continue that on the mound against a much tougher opponent in Israel.
Garner this season for Silver Spring-Takoma. You can see the All-Star worthy numbers in 28 innings of work, 10 games. Get this, Tyler, 45 strikeouts to 4 walks and a 1.92 ERA for, again, the rising senior at UMBC. And he'll start off here against Rob Pollard, who's shown some pop of his own this trip. First pitch from Garner, wind up, and this one driven high down the right field line. That stays fair. It could be a towering shot. But that thing way out of here. That might have cleared the grandstand down the right field line.
I think it did. I think it went like in between that little alleyway.
Towering shot off the bat of the lefty Rob Pollard, but absolutely pulled down the first base line and foul, nothing in one. Garner delivers and swing and a miss. Pollard looking to do the same and whiffs on that one. Nothing in 2 now for Garner. Quickly back set with the hands at the chest. He's ready to go when Pollard is. Steps back in, taps the plate into that short hop stance. Garner into the back step windup. Here's the 0-2. High with the fastball, 1-2. Last 2 pitchers on the mound for the All-Stars, both very quick workers here. As Garner already back to the windup. This one hit high and well out of play. This one might hit off the roof. Ooh, sharp hop and bounces all the way up into the club level. Took a short hop in between the concrete separator between the first level of seats and the half level up towards the concourse. Bounced all the way up to the club level, and the one of 2 fans up in the seats there will get the baseball. That thing took a mean hop. 1-2 still at the plate. Garner to Pollard inside with the breaking ball, and the count even 2-2. I think that baseball just got dropped down to a young fan into his glove.
Oh,
good teamwork there.
Yeah, I wouldn't scream over a baseball.
Sure.
I would scream over it. I'd be like, hey, could I have that baseball, please? Very
2-2, Garner into the windup. Pollard at the plate, swings and misses, and he's set down. For the 3rd out here in the bottom of the 6th. Garner comes in and does the job to end it. We'll see if he's back out for the bottom of the 7th. But first, the All-Stars to the bat in the top, coming up next.
Fans for voting out to Leidos Field, Ripken Stadium for tonight's game. The attendance tonight is 2,069. Now pitching for the Israeli national team, number 33, Jake Rosenberg.
So interesting movement here in the top of the 7th as Jake Rosenberg, listed as a pitcher, but obviously we've seen him play center field already. He'll slide to the mound here to face Stephen Rice for the Ripken All-Stars in the top of the 7th. All-Stars hanging on to a 9-3 lead here, looking to send Israel to just their 2nd loss of this exhibition swing. Came back as Rice lifts this one high in the air, left side. Pollard, the left fielder, going back onto the track. One step on is all he needs as he collects that one for a towering out number 1. Is indeed Rob Pollard out there in left field.
Shortstop number 33, Kevin Alderman.
I don't think Kemp Alderman's a shortstop.
Not quite. Out there in center field now is number 32, Simon Rosenbaum. As the first pitch into Kemp Alderman, misses tight for a ball from Rosenberg. Rosenbaum out in center, coordinator of baseball development for the Tampa Bay Rays. As the off speed from Rosenberg misses outside, and it's 2-0 on Alderman. I believe that is the only defensive substitution. Still Wolf out there in right. 3-man shift on for Alderman to the left side of the infield. Loengart, the third baseman, towards third base. Penpraise, the shortstop, where he normally would be. And the second baseman, Glosser, a little bit towards, just to the left of the second base bag. Alderman cranks this one high in the air. Wolf coming in from right. Wenger coming out from first and can't get it. It's going to bounce in, fair play. Motoring towards second is Alderman, standing up and safe, as Wenger just had a hard time tracking that one just to the left of the first base line all the way down into right field, and just took a hop right in between his arm and his glove tough break there, and it will be the second fielding error of the night for the Israelis. Alderman stands on second. One gone here in the top of the 7th for Grant Knipp.
What a weird. They may have lost it in the
lights
or in the sky, because the sky can mask it a little bit with it being so hazy right now.
Absolutely. 8:30 p.m. on the nose here at Leidos Field, Ripken Stadium in Aberdeen, Maryland. Ben Bobeck and Tyler Gallo on the call here for Big Train TV. We've got a Big Train player at the dish, and Grant Knipp, who's been pretty hot at the bat the last few games. Home run and a double last night. Double and 2 runs scored here tonight. He takes a hack at the 1-0 pitch there, sending it foul back into the screen. Count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Katula, the on-deck hitter, will collect it. Flip it back to the bat boy in blue. Israel, the home team in the third base dugout. The visiting All-Stars down the first base line. Rosenberg comes set with a runner off second. Breaking ball lashed into left field. Pollard working over to his right. He collects it, and there's 2 gone.
I'd love to see the exit velocity on that one. Unfortunately, even though we're at a minor league ballpark, we do not have that capability today. You know, if
not as hard hit as a couple of the other ones we've seen from Knipp, but still pretty torched.
Any complaints you can direct to Aaron Adams.
Who's that? We'll never know. Mark Katula, not Matt for the 4th time tonight.
Some guy that's dressed like an umpire.
Here in the 7th inning. Runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Rosenberg trying to work his way out of this one. Gave up some decently loud contact, but nothing too troubling so far. Alderman on base via a towering pop fly just inside fair territory down the first base line. Not quite able to handle that was Ben Wenger. As we have a very nice announced attendance here at Ripken Stadium, 2,069.
Whoa.
As Katula lashes this one to left, working back to the warning track. And it's Rob Pollard who makes all 3 defensive outs in the top of the 7th for Team Israel. They come to bat in the bottom last licks and trailing by 6. 9-3 here on Big Train TV.
Hey, we have 72 watching. This is what I like to see. Hey, what did Rice do, F7? Yo.
We're now in the bottom of the 7th. Number 6, Jack Penbrace.
Zach Penbrace all over the left side of the field tonight. Smokes the first pitch he sees from Kieran Garner straight to Stephen Rice at second base. And there's quickly 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th.
And a new pitcher.
And here comes Brock Hunter getting his steps in on the way to the bump. We'll see Blake Burkhalter from the University of Auburn. This would be technically Auburn University. My apologies to any Tigers out there. He'll come in to close this game out strong with the All-Stars hanging on to a 9-3 lead here with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
out of here.
Did I say block?
Yeah. Like, bring those cowbells. We don't have them. No one has a cowbell.
I got a fever. Really good description.
It's a cowbell.
Or cowbell.
C-A-L.
Blake Burkhalter.
Burkhalter's not sidearm, by the way.
I say it's like 3/4.
No, look at this. Look at this. In what way is this 3/4?
It's 3/4 too. Just can't see from this angle.
You say 3/4, I'm going to say 4/4 to get a job record. Aaron? Yes, you're fired. Blue, get out of here, Blue! I can't believe you're not videotaping this.
Nothing to get you hyped for the last 2 outs of this game. Like a little Darude sandstorm.
See, now the funny thing is everyone calls it Darude Sandstorm, but the song is just Sandstorm by Darude. Which, but it's colloquially known as
Asaf Lowengart's to the bat here. Started out in center field over at third base, and will be facing Blake Burkhalter, the 3/4 arm out of Auburn. Gets a swing and a miss from Lowengart. On the first pitch, he fires, 0-1. Lowengart, a couple strikeouts to his name tonight. At bat for the 3rd time. That's the 9-hole. Of course, Jeremy Wolf still on deck behind him with the extra hitter rule. 1-1 there. Burkhalter, a sensational season, well-earned All-Star nod for him out of the Alexandria Aces organization in the CRCBL. Works solely out of the stretch on getting another whiff.
some cheddar.
Soft Lowengart as that one pops the mid of Stone behind the dish. And it's 1-2. 10 appearances, 14 innings, 28 strikeouts, 4 walks, 6 hits, and just 2 earned runs. A 1-0 record with 2 saves, a 1.28 ERA. Into the windup, the 1-2 inside, nearly worn by a soft Lowengart, and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Burkhalter with the glove folded into the front of his chest, comes set, front forward, front foot slightly tilted towards the back. Here's the 2-2, high and inside again, and the count is full on Lowengart. Struck out twice, both times looking to get some barrel on baseball here. Needing to put runners on base and move the line for Team Israel as they look to avoid, again, their second loss, what would be their second loss of this exhibition swing. And that's ball 4 inside on Lowengart. And that's how you need to start if you're the Israeli national team right now, as they put a runner on board. This Israel team has made history in plenty of ways already. Just the second team sport organization to reach the Olympics for the Israelis since the soccer squad back in 1976 in Montreal. 9 medals for Team Israel, the first coming back in judo as this one squirts away from Stone. Ball 1 in on Jeremy Wolf. Of course, if you ask General Manager Peter Kurz or Team Manager Eric Holtz, the goal is to medal. It would be the 10th medal at the Olympics for Israel. their first coming back in judo, and they point to that judo medal as why this whole thing has come together in the first place. Because if you look at youth participation in judo since that Olympic medal in Israel, it has skyrocketed.
Hoping that
and Israel baseball looking to do the same for this diamond-based sport here, as Burkhalter gets a swing and a miss from Wolf there to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Trying to cultivate some mass in that scenario.
1-1 to Wolf at the plate. He's got a double and a loud fly out to center field to his name tonight. Now out and right as a defensive sub for Rickles. So we're getting some charges from the crowd right now. 1-2 after that swing and a miss by Wolf. Burkhalter gets the signs from his teammate at Alexandria Stone. Checks back on Lowengaard off first. Now comes set, hands at the belt. Into the fire, this one tapped foul. Rolling nearly back to the batting circle. Count stays, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Love to head down onto the field after this is over and talk to some of the Big Train guys and maybe some Israel guys if we get the chance.
Wolf with a couple very important homers to his name. The 2019 qualifying round, and he takes a big whiff through that one and is set down on strikes, holding the bat still as he walks back. And slight disbelief over how he came up empty there. And there's 2 gone here with Team Israel down to its final out here in this All-Star exhibition. We'll play just 7, and it'll be Tal Arel to the bat here as the final hope for the Israelis.
Yeah, Tal Arel, you know, he's the catcher now. He's a guy who came in last night and a guy that went to Lynn University out down there in Florida.
As we talked about last night, picked up the game of baseball when his family came over to South Florida for a couple of years during his youth. Went back there, as you mentioned, for his college years and swings through that one. 0-1 on him. Had a big double in the 7th inning. Came around to score on the Pollard home run. Actually, before the Pollard home run, I think he scored on the throwing error earlier in that inning by the Big Train defense. It would stand to cut the lead down to 1. Eventually, Pollard able to deliver that game-winning 2-run shot later. Need a couple more on base here to think about that situation as Arel swings and misses at that one, and it's 0-2. Israel down to their final strike here at Ripken Stadium.
And fans trying to bring it home per se here.
A loud 2,000 in attendance here at Leidos Field. 0-2 on Arel at the plate. Burkhalter set from the belt. That 3/4 delivery. He comes home and sharply hit foul into the screen. Count stays 0-2.
No one in the bullpen for the CRCBL All-Stars. So
the arms are expended, so to say. Burkhalter, the lone remaining pitcher.
Used everybody
close
tonight.
This thing out. Absolutely. Small roster, small traveling squad for the CRCBL All-Stars. Here's the 0-2. Arel able to foul this one off again, just staying on top of it. And Burkhalter putting up a good battle here with Arel at the plate from the left-handed side. Bats left, throws right as a catcher. Slowly circles the bat. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed on a fastball outside. And that will do it. Just the 2nd loss of the exhibition swing for Team Israel as they fall 9-3 to the CRCBL All-Stars. This squad made up of players from the Alexandria Aces, the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts, and the Bethesda Big Train, able to come together and put together a win here in the fantastic fashion as the All-Stars once again defeat the Team Israel Olympic squad 9-3 here at Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium.
Yeah, really just a very special night for a special group of guys out there on the ball field, and really a great game nonetheless. I mean, 9-3, the score really doesn't show it, but it was just a fun game to watch all together, and really came out and put on a show.
Absolutely. 2 consecutive nights of great baseball. Team Israel got the win over the Big Train last night. The CRCBL All-Stars with 9 Big Train players come back and get the victory tonight. Team Israel will head up north for their final exhibition game against the NYPD squad in Brooklyn tomorrow night. We will not be there. We'll be back at Povich Field as the Silver Spring T-Bolts come to town for a makeup game from last Saturday night. Of course, you can find that game, last night's game against the Big Train, and tonight's on replay all the time on BigTrain.tv. Tyler, any final thoughts on this one before we wrap things up here from Aberdeen?
Really just a fun game. I mean, I really enjoyed coming out here and calling this game. It was really special, and what a way for the CRCBL to put themselves in the map per se by putting up 9 runs against a pretty good ball club. So it was a good game, and I was really enjoying calling this and watching it unfold in front of me.
Absolutely. It has been a pleasure to bring this one to you here on Big Train TV. He's been Tyler Gallo. I've been Ben Bobeck. For those out there, we wish Team Israel the best of luck as they look forward to the Olympic Games in Tokyo next week. We thank you for joining us here on Big Train TV. We will see you next time.